Guthrey.
Madam Mayor and councillors, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak briefly to you. I'm really following up from submissions that were made earlier in the week by Philip Richards, Anthony Goff and his support that he had from Tim Beersley, and here to speak specifically about the Litchfield Street car park building. I know you're probably a bit bored about car parking, but you're not. Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious to all of us that the retail precinct is well underway. There's $500 million or more being spent by private enterprise on the retail precinct. We've got the Justice precinct opposite that's well underway. That's going to have something like 900 people visiting each day. And of course you can see the new office buildings that are being developed within about 5 minutes of where Ballantyne's is. My position is slightly different to the others in as much as that we own part of the land that the car park building is on. Now we appreciate that the building is coming down and we know that a new building is going up to replace it. But the point that I'd like to stress here is that I just hope that the council doesn't allow a process to delay final decisions on the building as to who's going to develop it and how big it is and how many car parks it's going to have. There was an implication in the long-term plan that there were risks associated with the car park building, one of the risks being that if it was too big it would be unsuccessful. But it's very hard to imagine how a building that used to be 1,200 car parks and now is likely to be 800 car parks is going to be too big when the retail precinct is likely to be significantly more successful than what it was pre-earthquake. That's pretty obvious. The developments that are going ahead at the moment are the demand for space on Cashel Mall is significant. It's possible that the space available won't meet the actual demand. Rentals are now looking to be higher than they were pre-earthquake. So it's becoming very obvious that the retail precinct is going to be a success. Now we appreciate that there's a car park building that Philip Carter's developing, and maybe Anthony Goff will have some public car parks, but the reality is that there will not be enough public car parks to meet the demand. So that's the first thing that needs to be stressed again. And the second thing is that it's really important that this building be operating either partly or fully by Christmas of next year, if not the start of summer. And the only reason why it won't be operating is if the council allows process to get in the way. Now, I know that there's an EOI process that's out there. So you've now got in front of you a number of proposals, and I would hope that those proposals can be examined with a degree of haste. Clearly, right decisions have to be made, but you own the land, it's existing user rights, and I can't see why process needs to delay things. There's no reason why the existing car park will be down in October, and there's really no reason, as far as I can see, why a new car park building cannot be commenced at that point. There's plenty of time to complete the process with the EOI. There's plenty of time to do the design work. I understand there's a good number of proposals in front of the council. The options are there for you. It can be built by the council and run by the council. It can be done by private enterprise. From our point of view, we don't have a problem with the council owning and running the car park. You did that very successfully in the past. It made money. And there's no reason why you can't do it in the future. But if it has to be done by a private enterprise or possibly or maybe even preferably a PPP, well, so be it. It's vitally important for the success of the retail precinct. It is going to be the second of the anchor projects completed for the city, and it's really important that we get it right, and we're not going to all be embarrassed by not having sufficient car parking when all these developments are going to be completed by the end of next year. Thank you very much.
Very good. Paul, Andrew.
Thank you, Peter. And actually, I fully understand and appreciate your views around parking. I tend to agree with it. My question is, and I just want to clarify, you have actually said it, but I want to clarify that you are not concerned about the ownership or who owns or runs the car parks in the central city?
No, we're not concerned, but if it is run by the council, I would hope that that you do spend the money necessary to make sure that you use the most up-to-date technology that's available. There's obviously no reason for arms to be used anymore, that there's significant technology that's available to make that car park open 24 hours of the day, that it can be safe. But yes, I'm comfortable as to who builds the car park and who owns the car park.
Andrew.
Thank you. We read in the Central City Business Association submission the other day, and we heard from them, in terms of the proposal to remove off-street car parking from the list of council strategic assets, that proposal wasn't supported by the Central City Business Association. Do you have a view on that proposal?
To remove off-street car parking?
So to remove off-street car parking from the council's list of strategic assets?
I don't have a problem if it is removed from the list of strategic assets, providing a new car park building is built to replace it. So I don't have a view either way.
Jamie?
Thanks. Thank you, Peter. If the car park building, the Litchfield building, was indeed down in October, do you have a view around whether it would be preferable to perhaps hold fire and have at-grade car parking over the busy Christmas period, or perhaps just truck on with it, albeit without parking at that space, though, with it being a construction site?
Clearly, I prefer that wasn't the case, but I think the people to speak to really are Valentines.
Yes.
But I do stress the point that from our point of view, as the adjoining owner and owning part of the land, one of the difficulties that we've got at the moment is attracting tenants, and tenants need certainty, and at the moment we can't give them certainty as to when that car park building will be rebuilt. And if it is deferred until next year, the difficulty that we will have as to what sort of car parking is going to be available for October onwards from next year.
Very good. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Peter.
Pleasure.
Good to see
Thank
you.
you very much, Mayor.